asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep.
Hey, that's my cue to come in. Slept on us too long, now you off it when the coming. Closing up the shuttle, 3, 2, 1, we're launching into outer space, blasting right past your assumptions. Slinging hammers with the boys, veteran be making noise, thicker than the fattest cores, deeper than the hemorrhoids, elevated people voice, get the power from the source. Danger, 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 danger. Turning back is not a choice. Y'all can't go. Look.
I don't think you've gone this deep, even when you're falling asleep. I don't think you've gone this deep, even when you're falling asleep. You fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep. I don't think you've gone this deep, even when you're falling asleep. I don't think you've gone this deep, even when you're falling asleep. You fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep, you fall asleep.
Someday I would buy dollies with good origin, sails to distant shores. Stand up high in the proud, noble bark I steer, steady course for the havens. Too many foemen, too many foemen, too many foemen.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled Banner, got it playing loud and proud. People from all walks of life filling up the crowd. Defend the Constitution, many warriors have vowed. Casting down any among us who have bucked and cowed. Enough with tyranny, we come to take our country back. For all citizens, white, red, brown, or black. Return her to a form of glory, fix the bloody crack on the crown. Fetch it down, it's going down.
Someday I would buy dollies with good origin, sails to distant shores. Stand up high in the proud, noble bark I steer, steady course for the havens. Too many foemen.
My mama told me, yeah, she warned me that this day would come. I'm like my father, go to combat with the blazing guns. I survived that, then I came back to the place I'm from, to face off all these haters and the battle in the place I love. You can't break me down, I'm indivisible. You still see my raps if I was invisible. But I'm standing tall, and I spit the truth. So you all appalled, cause you know it's true. They call it freedom cause the fallen troops pay for this. I love this country, doesn't matter how much hate I get. I take my colors in the battle, ain't no wavering. Cause this is for my warriors who marching to the cadences. This is for the sisters working hard on the ship. This is for the brothers getting y'all doctorate. Father, yeah, taking y'all on the ship. Baby, tell me why it's hard for the patriot.
My mother told me someday I would buy dollies with good origin, sails to distant shores. Stand up high in the proud, noble bark I steer, steady course for the havens. Too many foemen, too many foemen, too many foemen.
Yo, it's crazy that when I sit back and look, that even within the black community, we have a whole war going on amongst conservatives and others, simply about how we want to move the black community forward.
I saw that on the gram, Snoop made a post, bashing on some black educated folks. Calling them a coon, no it wasn't jokes. Man, you tripping like your foot caught between the spokes. You couldn't hold a likeness to hurricane. Southern Maine with better class and better brains. Out rebuilding our communities and other things. Like making up for all the damage from the dopest slang. Candace O, she's a queen in her own right. Not the type to monetize off her own plight. Working hard for black America day and night. Understand that you're not the only dog in this fight. Terrence K refused to be a product of the system. Bounce around the foster care, no he ain't a victim. You got probation and luckily dies going to prison. Yeah, you believe you had the right to post criticism? David Harris, I can tell the pain's authentic. He truly cares for the people, meaning all pigment. Your music is the reason why this generation's violent. Another reason why I couldn't stay silent. Miss Staten, she's a G, she did real time. All you do is talk about it, a real crime. But even that can't hold her back while she steady climb the long ladder to success in these troubled times. Tell me what's wrong with Pastor Darrell Scott? You hating on the man, simply how I walk with God. When he supported you when you was Snoop lying. Even when the majority figure Snoop lying. Look, I ain't falling for the tongue in cheek. Your virtual threats, man, they kinda weak. Cause I bet you ain't stepping to the Hodge twins. Just to fight with Shaw loses and Hobbs wins. You hate on Diamond and Silk, Paris Bernard. They support the president and that is regardless of all the hate that they receive. Being loyal is a trait that a dog can't conceive, huh? Funny how you say we work for massa. Hold on to that thought, got some.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire. That's okay. I am the mad scientist, Matt, and I've got a perspective on things.
Ho ho ho! I don't know if today's more epic, but the day that Aragorn returned to defeat all the orcs at the end of Lord of the Rings. But this is almost as epic. The king has returned! The Iron King, the strong one, is in the house for a monthly court session. And I'm excited, I'm pumped up, I'm jacked up, but I'm really depressed at the same time because I have to acknowledge that schlep, that right hand, that... what else do we call him? What do we call him?
Kick-ass Duke.
Kick-ass
The
Duke?
producer.
A little kick-ass Duke?
Producer.
Give it up for Dusty!
The producer has not produced.
Yeah, what do you even do? If you're the producer and you're not producing, what do you do? What are you, man? What are you?
On vacation.
Amen. Amen. You need vacations, bro. You need vacations. Hey, thank you for everybody checking out live. We are everywhere. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. We are on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness. The Kings are in court right now with a kick-ass Duke named Dusty, and we're about to fillet, roast, skewer, dominate, own, punt, elbow drop, DDT, some liberal logic. Oh, I'm so excited today.
Don't forget, we're gonna stick it to the mat.
Stick it to the mat. In so many different ways. Episode 171. There's a Biles in my throat. I'm so excited for this episode. I've been waiting to destroy this one today. And listen, I know I only make monthly stops now as your resident king, your traveling king, okay? But I'm going to make this impactful today, and I'm very excited to do it with you boys. I missed you. I missed Dusty. And I got to make a confession before the show starts. Can I make a confession?
Sure.
I've watched an absurd amount of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I have watched all three of the old Hobbit movies, watched Lord of the Rings, and watching the bond and the fellowship Just it brings up warm, fuzzy feelings about this podcast and about what we've done here. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like Samwise Gamgee. I kind of feel like you're the Frodo, and you got Schmeagol in the corner over there. Just kidding, Dusty! I love you.
Schmeagol? I'm a
Go!
Pippin.
Pippin? Okay, I can take the Pippin, man. But I'm excited. Now, I feel like we're more like, I would say more like, you're like our Legolas, right? So, because you're the producer, you kind of handle everything, do everything. Aragorn, he's the king, and I'm just the frumpy dwarf, Gimli, that's just really pissed off all the time. You know what I mean? So, I think it works. I'm ready to rock with it, man. You ready to go to
Hey, Ray, you do have the higher head count.
So good, man. But yeah, I'm reminded of... The reason I bring this up, guys, is this. Remember when you were younger and your parents used to say there's no school like the old school? Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they would lament about how much things were better in their generation.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I've said that to my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, in the last week and a half. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I miss the days when things were better. I feel like it's just a natural part of growing, right? You lament and you just see things degrade over and over and over again. Degrade. Sorry, my bad. Thank you. Bro, listen, it's been a long week. But, sorry, man. The numbers.
No, I'm laughing at myself for being such a know-it-all.
No, numbers, banks. No, I got you. But it just degrades, right? It just degrades over time, all the time. And I'm sitting here watching left become right, up become down, man become woman,
good become evil.
Good become evil.
Good.
We're watching. We're watching fear become a virtue. We're watching quitting as some type of courage and nobility. We're watching science become myth or something, right? And we're watching literal superstition get pushed as science now. And it literally, I'm watching this and I'm sitting there I'm just watching old movies and man,
that's interesting. Science become myth.
It does. Science becomes myth.
And that's not in science is this mythic, supreme power. More like the actual working of science, the doing of real science.
It's a bygone.
Is a myth.
Bygone.
Does anybody do that anymore?
It's a bygone method. It's a bygone, observable, testable, repeatable.
There are people doing it.
Becomes wrong. True science becomes wrong at that point.
Yeah. Well, there are people doing it, but it doesn't matter that they're doing it. Because if it doesn't fit the story, then the outcome, be it true or not, be it verifiable, be it repeatable, be it judged by a jury of peers, peer-reviewed, whatever.
Peer-reviewed means nothing now, but
well,
I know
true, but But yeah, because
science
peer-reviewed means nothing because it's about fitting the narrative.
Science used to be testable, observable, repeatable. All that's out the window now. Now it's just superstition, double down on dumb. Just double down on dumb, no matter what, right? We just went through the pandemic of 2020, right? And it at this point, if you actually think this was a pandemic, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool, and I don't feel sorry for calling you a fool. I don't. You're a moron. I'm sorry. The numbers never reached pandemic levels. To treat this as if this is...
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said what?
That it never reached pandemic.
Fauci actually did. In his emails. Fauci literally admitted...
Supreme Health Overlord Fauci?
Supreme Darth Faucius literally proclaimed it in emails that he doesn't want you to see or acknowledge, or the mainstream media won't talk about, but he literally told us that this never reached the level of pandemic, but we're sitting here pretending as if this is a real thing. We're doing this at the Olympics right now. My beautiful Olympics, which we're going to talk about later on, that have been marred, that have been destroyed by this stupidity. And at this point, now that we have the stats and realize that this wasn't a pandemic, that all of the external efforts that we did to try to stop the literal flu, because this literally is a flu validated last week. Did you guys talk about the CRT tests or anything like that? Or not CRT,
No,
but the PCR tests. You guys talk about that?
No, not yet.
The CDC literally admitted last week that the PCR tests cannot distinguish between COVID-19 and influenza.
Did they say cannot or may
Is
not?
that not something that we've been saying
It-
for almost a year now?
It cannot distinguish it.
What's the
So they
validity
don't-
of these tests actually
so-
showing?
But that's the problem. They have now admitted in the dark of night on a Friday night, like they always do,
Huh.
magically, info dump this, that, yeah, the PCR tests don't actually detect COVID-19. So like we said at the beginning, to your point, Dusty, we said this from the beginning. This is a bad flu, and we are overhyping a bad flu. We said this, what, back in March of 2020? Didn't we say this?
Mm-hmm.
The numbers reflected this very early on. Anybody with a rational thinking brain can attest to this. You literally cannot stop the flu. Let me repeat that slowly, kids. It's inevitable. Flu is going to happen. We've had vaccines for how long for the flu? Still, listen,
Decades.
we haven't
Decades.
destroyed the flu. Now, listen, magically the flu's disappeared. We've renamed it and repackaged it,
Mm.
COVID-19, but you can't defeat the virus. I'm sorry. It is a thing that is inevitably going to be a part of what we do every single day going forward. Sorry.
They want it to be. They want it to rule us. They want it to consume us at every point, so that they can rule us, and ultimately consume us
and,
for their own wealth and profit.
and listen, we replaced science with
And
superstition,
power.
right?
Yeah.
We said, hey, these magical face diapers will protect you from the flu. Oh, sorry, COVID-19 as we're calling it now. And it didn't. It didn't. Think this through, people. The people that had the most restrictive COVID lockdowns and mask mandates did worse than states that did not. Let me repeat that slowly.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Who said that the masks weren't actually going to be effective?
Fauci. Dr. Fauci literally
Well, you mean
stated that.
Supreme Health Overlord
Yes.
Fauci?
Darth Fauci. Fauci is...
I thought he said you had to wear 2 masks for them to be effective.
Well,
Or no, 3 masks.
But I think he wrote an email
A pillowcase.
to like a friend of his
in private.
in private,
That wasn't supposed to get out.
and it.
Italy.
In it he basically kiboshed
Yeah, he lied.
the necessity for masks.
Which proved that he's a liar, and that he did it again last week on Congress floor in front of Rand Paul. Which
Yeah.
you guys talk about that last week?
No.
Okay, yeah. Fauci
I
lied.
was talking about Capitol Police last week.
Yeah, but he lied. He literally said that.
But
What?
man, Representative Madison Cawthorn, however you pronounce his last name.
Sure.
What a lunatic. I mean,
That's
am I
how you
right?
really.
The guy's just overboard. He wants to if the Republicans win, so first of all, partisan, unlike the Biden administration, which clearly likes to cross, party lines to get things done. So this partisan hack in Congress wants to subpoena and try Fauci, Dr. Fauci, Supreme Health Overlord, Messiah Fauci, for lying to Congress like that means anything.
It's funny.
What a crazy guy!
I keep seeing this meme online, and it gives me courage because normies are actually posting this now. If you lie to the federal government, it's a felony.
Mm-hmm.
If the federal government lies to you, it's politics. It's a Bill Murray quote.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally watching it play out right now, right? So we have the
Well,
government.
the same thing goes for the police. You lie to the police, you're
Yeah.
obstructing justice, my friend.
So we have the government lying to us at every step of the way. And they've traded this idea, this superstition, for science. They've literally said that these masks and lockdowns are the thing that are going to save us, even though they didn't. They won't admit it, but that's literally what happened. Look, literally compare Texas versus California and Florida versus New York. Just compare them. Just compare them. Compare their response to the Rona and you tell me scientifically what worked and what did not work. But now they have literally banged their gongs, ripped their clothes, sacrificed animals, performed their orgies in front of their pagan gods of superstition, and are trying to tell you again that masks will work this time only if you just comply. But here's what's funny. They told us, wear masks, lock down until you get vaccinated, right? But now, strangely, the same people that said that if you get vaccinated, things will get back to normal, are now telling vaccinated people to put masks back on and lock down again.
No.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm shocked.
Well, but at least we can take heart that they're only doing it for our own well-being.
Superstition.
You know?
It's for our own good.
Superstition.
Well, yeah, they're
For the good of the
they
community.
know better. They
For
are better.
others.
And you know, they're just doing what they need to do because we're just too dumb. We're just too dumb to survive.
Yep. Because, you know, we never did survive years before they were there. But now here's the thing, which is amazing to me in this whole situation. Because remember, in the old school, the media, we could trust them, right? Walter Cronkite, you know, we could trust them. That's gone. We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Hollywood didn't push a lot of propaganda. They still did. Let's get real. They pushed war propaganda and whatever propaganda.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this specific to what they're doing now, right? But
And they still called out their own when things were awry.
Sure, they did. Not anymore.
They
not so much.
called a spade
Sure.
when it was absolutely necessary.
Yep.
But
we live.
you'll never see that.
But we literally live in the upside down. We are in Stranger Things as we speak.
Hmm.
We have literally transversed into the upside down, where they're literally telling us the benefit for us is literally what's going to kill us. I mean, we could cite clearly the allegorical stories of people getting the vaccine and magically, you know, dying 3 days later. You know, don't look into the British Airline 5 pilots. Don't ever look into that. Don't look into DMX, who was perfectly healthy at the age of 50 and died 2 days later after getting the vaccine. Don't look into that. Don't look into the kids that are getting vaccinated as infants and dying quickly. Don't look into that stuff either.
Don't look into there's a dude on Instagram, another crazy dude. His name's Joe Kazama, and he's spent a week reposting people who claim to have gotten the vaccine and now their bodies won't stop tremoring and you know, have severe mobility issues and they can't seem to get it fixed. But
There's a guy on TikTok that got the Pfizer vaccine and has a rash that literally wraps around his entire chest in these huge pustules that it's not pretty by any means, but but it's actually a very common thing for people to get that have severe reactions to these vaccines is this rash across the chest.
Hey, but at least he didn't get the thing that he would have survived if he got it 99.9% of the time. It's a trade-off.
Oh, he tested positive 2 weeks later for COVID.
Oh, snap. So, here's the thing, right? We traded in...
sorry. CBS News has some reporters reporting that people who got the vaccine actually have higher levels of the virus in their body and might be a major cause of spread.
No way.
Yeah. Of course, you know, who knows if that's actually true because we can't discern between flu viruses and coronavirus.
Wouldn't it be interesting that the government would give you a vaccine that will actually spread the disease more effectively?
Yeah. So basically, what you've gotten is not a vaccine, but a virus booster shot.
Oh, is that why there's no liability for this thing? So you can't sue them when this stuff happens?
Maybe.
Interesting.
It came out just today, that the efficacy of the Pfizer vaccine that was at 97.3% 2 weeks after testing is now down to 83.7%.
Wow.
6 months.
Wait a minute. So that means 17% of people who get it, it won't even do anything.
Yeah.
Well, nothing.
That's
Nothing.
why you need booster shot 3.
Oh, boosters. That'll help out, man.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
boosters. Yeah.
Hey,
Boosters. That sounds great. Let's increase the chances for severe reactions.
Hey, that helped out the Fast and Furious franchise. Just keep adding movies.
Yeah.
You just keep adding movies. It'll eventually work. It'll eventually be cool.
But they did change it up into a heist movie.
Oh.
So what are they stealing from us?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Freedom,
Yeah. 100%. Freedom, liberty,
Health,
liberty,
wellness.
health, everything that's dear to us.
But here's what I'm getting at, and this is what I kind of pointed out at the beginning. At this point, if you do not understand or get this is a farce, you're a fool. They told you that if you took vaccines, this would go away. It didn't. They told you that if you got the vaccine, you wouldn't get it. You're getting it. They told
you
you
if you wore a mask, it would protect you.
Yep.
It doesn't. If
Josh,
they
what's up,
told
buddy?
if you would social distance, that would protect you.
Yep.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
If we would just lock down for 2 weeks, that would contain the virus. It's been how many hundreds of days?
It's funny. The way you're talking, it sounds just like the flu. No matter what you do, the flu will still virus. The virus will still virus, like viruses do.
Yeah.
Weird. I am absolutely
Well,
shocked.
that's why this is the new normal.
Yep.
Except that people all over the place are rejecting that.
Yes. Now,
France, they're roaming the streets. The yellow vests are back at it,
Yellow vests are
protesting.
back.
Protesting, and this time it has nothing to do with wages or working. It's vaccine passports.
Screw you, Macron.
And it's not just France. There's Italy. They're doing the same thing. Italy, there was significant clashes with the police.
London. It's happening in London. That was a shocker to me.
Canada. They're protesting Canada, and hundreds of people are getting
Canada's
arrested.
gone off the deep end, man.
Canada's.
Get out.
Well, I mean, what do you get with Pretty Boy Trudeau?
Trudeau, well, if you're a pastor, you get arrested. And,
Well, I mean, he's pretty. He's probably never had to actually, be confronted his entire life. And
well, he was blending in with blackface, so you couldn't have found him
yeah, that's
if you
true.
tried to.
Yeah, it's camouflage.
Hey, he looks like you, right?
This is what happens when somebody who's never been challenged and doesn't know how to handle it gets challenged. You
arrest people.
Yeah.
He's got arrested. But
they go overboard
Sure.
because they don't know how to handle it.
Australia's protesting right now, which I thought that was impossible because Australians typically bend over quickly with this stuff.
It's weird. Australians are strange because
They're so
sometimes
strange.
that's true and sometimes that's not.
Guns. Oh, here, take my guns. They just bent over for guns.
Yeah.
But now they're like, oh, liberty. Well, how do you combat that without guns? But
True.
It is what it is.
But it's but there's other things where they're where they're legit.
Sure.
It's very strange.
Hey, listen, I love my Australian brothers. Okay, I love my Tim Tams. Give me some Tim Tams, some scrimp on the Barbie. I'm about that life. You feel me? Scrimp, little Fosters, beer. Love that too.
I love the sound of a didgeridoo. I really do.
That is a cool noise.
It is.
It's bad, eh?
And it's great, and it's just fun to say didgeridoo.
Yeah.
We got a lot of. I love that they call women Sheilas.
Sheilas.
That's
Sheilas.
It's like.
At least they're not Karen.
It's so strange. It's so strange, but so nice at the same time.
Sheila.
Anyway.
About that Sheila life. This is annoying. Now, that being said, the world's we're in the upside down. We are literally in the upside down. We have traded good. Huh?
I know we've been starting off the show a little bit different than you're used to. We've been doing a media section or
Well, I was gonna transition into it.
Transition. Do it.
Okay.
Do it now.
It was gonna be a good one, but
I ruined it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wow, what an
I know you're eager, but I was gonna say. Now you've been saying all this stuff about this generation, but at least we have cultural icons to look up to, He-Man.
He-Man!
And the Masters of the Universe.
I have the power.
So, they're still strong and they can still show us the way, right?
Yes. No.
By the power of Grayskull,
Oh.
I have the power.
You know what's funny is, isn't He-Man the strongest man in the universe?
Yes.
I don't remember him dying in the first episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in the original cartoon. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
strange.
remember him ever dying.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember anybody ever dying, but
remember the good old days when like cartoons had like a good message and good won over evil, and you know, I get it, it's campy now, but hey, great messages,
Like
right?
people. Essentially, you could literally go down the list of the 10 Commandments, and those would be the morals that were taught at the end of the show.
That's strange. 10 Commandments. We can't make things
Yeah.
biblical, but no, I mean, clearly it wasn't a biblical show, but the morals
No, it wasn't.
stole from the Bible, right? I mean, you got to think about this. Like, my
think it's
generation, huh?
More just borrowed from it.
Of course. Well, every morality is a borrowing for the Bible, so literally any form of morality comes from the Bible. But nobody was acknowledged. Well,
not today's morality.
no, it's true. It's our new high priests have changed those things up, man. Great book to read is Fault Lines by Vodi Bakum. If you don't have a copy of it, make sure you read it. His breakdown of the new religion is just unbelievable, and he just he puts that bad boy to bed. You think that we're good at roasting liberal logic? This dude just takes it on another level because he's Vodi Bakum. But what I would say is this: He-Man, like, no offense, He-Man like shaped a generation. That generation of male growing up, our obsession with the gym, muscles, being jacked and strong and tan, our superheroes are all crafted from this idea of being jacked, okay? It just is what it is. There's a documentary called Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Make sure you check it out. It's one of the best documentaries.
And then that's not a new concept either.
No.
You know? What's that
No.
Socrates quote about you know, how disgraceful it is for a man to live his whole life and not understand the power that his body can
100%.
you know, produce or whatever.
How dare you quote Socrates?
Yeah.
You kidding me? You kidding me, bro? Wow, why would you use a higher level of thought? That's so colonial. You're such a colonial Western thinker.
Hi, I'm Matt. Philosopher King. Right there.
Philosophizer.
Philosophizer. But no, I mean, like, the thing is, this is like it paired masculinity with morality.
Whoa. Okay, so now I see. You're not aware that masculinity is wrong.
Well, it's wrong
Evil.
now. You know,
Yes.
we
It's
have
toxic.
It's
you got to
no.
kill it off in the first
What's
episode.
that?
It
Can
wasn't
anyone tell me where you can
What's-
watch the old shows now?
How could I don't know.
the internet.
Internet. Netflix
Yeah.
had it for a little bit.
What'd you say?
You'd have to really go to some obscure websites. It's not on Netflix streaming or Hulu or Disney Plus or any of the mainstream streaming services. No, you have to go way deep.
Sure.
Mattel online streaming service.
But that's going to be every show from that generation because Thundercats, they're eventually going to get rid of Thundercats because there's morality in that.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to get rid
That's
of
why
G.I. Joe.
That's why you need to sail the 7 seas of the internet if you
I feel
catch
you.
my drift.
Catch my drift. But anyways, what I anyways, no, yeah, no, but I mean, it's we're in the upside down, right? So like, there used to be
Yes.
like a nobility in telling the truth, you know, and Kevin, what's Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
That wrote this madness.
Mhm.
Kevin Smith.
So Kevin Smith takes over
He used to
He-Man.
be able to make great movies like Clerks.
Sure, it's overrated, but yeah, I'll leave that one alone. But it's up. Sorry, I'm such a hater. I Jay and Silent Bob, like, I'm sorry, I just can't get behind Jay and Silent Bob. I can't do it.
It's not that great of a movie. I'm
No.
saying Clerks was a good movie.
But Jay and Silent Bob are in Clerks, are they not?
Yeah,
in
they
the
are.
movie?
They're not.
They're not the
They
mainstay.
they weren't the main characters in the movie.
Okay, fair enough.
I like some of his other work. Clerks was alright.
I could even stomach Dogma because at least
All
it
right, it's
rips
fun.
the heresy of the Catholic Church. But that's another story for another time.
Yeah, Dogma's fun.
What else is it? Yeah, because I can't think of anything else that I actually enjoy.
What's that?
You have Mallrats, you have Clerks 2, you have Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, you have.
This is the hyper jock coming out of me, but I didn't get down with any of those movies. Maybe I wasn't ready for that generation. Is that?
Maybe.
I'm younger than you guys, though. I'm a little younger than you guys, so I don't know, man. Maybe I didn't get down with it. But my point is this: the guy is noted for not watching He-Man growing up at all. The guy didn't watch He-Man. Okay.
No.
Clownfish TV calls him out on that. They basically say this guy's never watched it, that didn't like it, and he's got this property to go get a paycheck. And, you know, the pushback of the wokeness was, oh, well, you know what? Listen, man. Kevin Smith loves He-Man. That's just taken out of context. This is a movie, or this is a show all about He-Man. There's so much He-Man. This isn't a bait and switch. And then Clownfish is like, no, we have an insider that says this is the Tila show, and He-Man's barely in it. This is literally going to be like Star
Well,
Wars.
it's not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's just the Masters of the Universe.
Yep.
The original show was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. But this is not that.
Yep. So, long story short, sorry, I keep messing up our green screen. It's my bad.
No, it's not you. It's the camera.
It's the camera. I'm sorry, boys and girls. But here's the thing. So, long story short, you know, it ends. You get all of these nostalgic people, these cats like myself that loved He-Man, having the power, all the muscles, all the oil, all the jacked up, the big swords, the freaking battle cats, all the insanity, right? And
It's toys like crap.
yeah, right. And then literally, they get called out for it because guess what? It's not what it's advertised. And Kevin Smith vehemently denies that that's a rumor. That's not true. He-Man's all over it. And the show comes out, and guess what? There's no He-Man in it whatsoever. He gets killed in the first episode, and it gets killed, I think, a second time in the 5th episode. Now, for me,
Kills
Go
him
ahead.
twice.
kills him twice.
In the
Kills
first
him twice.
So
And
in the first
Smith-
episode?
No, in the first episode he dies, and in the 5th episode he dies. So in one season, which is 5 episodes, he dies twice. And Kevin Smith brags about the fact he kills him twice in the follow-up interview.
After saying that He-Man was all over the show.
Yeah.
And then
He was
then
in-
but here's the thing, he has the cojones to tell people, I didn't bait and switch people. Up is down, right is left. I didn't lie.
No.
Go ahead.
Prince Adam, who is He-Man, chose to be his weaker form in his heaven, where all the other Masters of the Universe that had come before all chose their better parts, their hero persona. Why? Because Adam is woke. He prefers the lesser man, the beta man, versus the alpha man, which is He-Man.
So we're literally we're putting virtue to an attribute that a man should not be. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Up is down, right is left,
Yeah.
right? Science is myth, man. Facts are hate. Facts is hate. You know what I mean? What's up?
You gotta turn off.
Clapper, I'm sorry. I've got to hold you to it, man. You got to head over to twitch.tv/plausibleFoolishness. Check out the full show. I hate to boot you, but I love you guys. But I'm about to roast Simone Biles because I am tired of the upside down. So make sure you head over, check over to twitch.tv/plausibleFoolishness. Check us out over there. And don't miss this content. See ya. Bye. You are an overlord, you king. You're an overlord. These poor Clapper people hop on here.
You said 10 minutes, and you've been more than generous.
Listen,
40
man,
minutes?
listen, I have been amongst the people, okay? I've been
Almost 40
sojourning.
minutes.
I have been watching over the kingdom magnanimously for the people,
You
okay?
mean when you quit the show? For
Listen, man! I just lessened my role, bro. But at least I was honest about what was going on. Unlike Simone Biles! Yeah, here's the thing, man. I have to warn the viewers.
It's gonna get
It's
spicy.
I'm about to get spicy. I'm about to get a little
You just
turnt.
get a little in here.
I'm about to get turnt.
Let's
That's what
get
kids say.
out of this one.
I'm about to get lit. I'm about to get pissed off for greatness. Now here's the thing.
Controversial.
Here's the
basically.
thing.
This is gonna be controversial.
It's going to be controversial. It pissed off a lot
Not
of
to
people.
us, but
No.
to other people. Out there.
Yes. So how do I nicely put this? It's okay because you're not going to see my face for 3 more weeks, anyways, 4 weeks anyway. So I'll just say it and let you guys deal with the collateral damage. No, I'm just kidding. But there is a pussification of America, and it's been going on for a long time, right? When my grandpa used to bust my balls about this all the time, he used to say, "Oh, your generation's a bunch of pussies." Okay, I hate to use that word, but I'm quoting my grandpa, so don't get mad. Okay, you know, Lord rest his soul. Hopefully he knew Jesus. Hopefully he's in heaven. I don't know. So caveat: make sure you know the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal Lord and Savior, so you don't have to worry about that. So you know exactly where you're going. That you understand that here's the bad news. You're a scumbag, all of you, including me. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. You can't even do enough good to cover up all the evil that you've done because you've sinned to a perfect and holy God. But the good news is he sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die as a literal sacrifice for every single evil that you've done. To literally stand in place.
I'm absolutely perfect. I have no sin. Oh, wait, yes,
That's
I do.
exactly why you need Jesus, because Romans says there is none righteous, no, not even one. None of us. So when I make this critique, I need you to understand I'm not a perfect example. There are things that are very flawed in my life. And where I'm coming from comes from a state of I want accountability as bad as I'm dishing it out. When I screw up, I want to hear that I screw up. And trust me, I'm mature enough to take it. I'm a married man, a Christian married man. So if you're a Christian married man, you get roasted by your wife on a regular basis. They remind you of your flaws all the time. Not because they're being bad, malicious, or evil, but guess what? Genesis 2, it's not good for man to be alone. Here's a helper. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Go ahead.
Accountable.
Huh?
They keep us accountable.
Accountable. They're there to help us. They're here to help us reflect the love that God has given us.
The
Okay?
word is translated help meet.
Help. They're a beautiful thing. And they remind you of your flaws. And I've got many of them.
No.
So let me start off by saying that. Now that we've got all the niceties out of the way,
Yeah.
let's talk about the reality of the situation. I'm a father.
What happened first?
Oh, let's start with that. So, at the Olympics, the pinnacle of athletic contests, and I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The NFL is better in baseball and
No.
NBA that nobody watches anymore. That's the...
No.
That's sports.
That's sports.
This is athletic competition. That involves some sports.
Sure.
But this is a pure international athletic competition.
This is the Olympiad.
These are people who don't get paid millions of dollars to do what they do. They have real jobs, and they compete at this level.
Now,
Well, they do get paid $35,000 to be at the Olympics.
They do get paid
Yeah.
for the 2 weeks, but the Filipino girl that just won gold
But
medal.
I'm saying, like, they don't get paid millions of
No.
dollars. They don't have contracts with, like, for this year they have a contract with Wheaties, a couple of them, you know?
Some of them get endorsements that make millions. But
Yeah.
for the most part, we have 630 members of the USA team. A small fraction of them are making money.
Also, have you noticed that, like, half of the people in those commercials during the Olympics this year are from the Paralympics, which I think is cool, but it's like, now the market for that money is even more diluted.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, this is the pinnacle of athletics. I'm sorry, college football fans, NFL fans, you're not going to want to hear this. Literally, I was willing to spend a small fortune, to go to the Olympics 5 years ago, just to be in the presence of it. And I thank God now that God allowed me and my wife to go to Rio and experience the Olympics firsthand, because it's never going to be the same anymore, because they're going to perpetually play this Rona game, and it's going to be diluted the way it is. Okay,
Bro, it's sad watching them compete with nobody in the
crowd. It's disgusting to work 4 years, this year 5 years of your life, for no payoff for people to watch
and then
what you're doing.
think about this as well. You know that Tokyo spent a crap ton of money
Tons.
to set up all these arenas and stuff, and now nobody can go. They make nothing off of it.
But-
Tokyo is going to be hurting from this
Sure.
for a long, long time.
Yes. Now, that being
Yeah.
said, the perception the media wants to say is that Japan is really cool with this and they don't want people in there. That is patently false when you watch any outdoor event at the Olympics right now. Watch the triathlon. People lined the effing streets for people to watch people run by them, bike by them, lined the water lines to watch people swim by them. So spare me your stupidity. That place would have been packed out. Now, that being said, in Japan is doing very well in the Olympics right now. Much props to them.
Oh, a
sorry,
lot of times the
USA
home
softball.
teams-
Sorry to throw that out there,
Yeah.
Dusty. You know, I know that you're a softball family over there, but USA got
Yep.
rocked by Japan. Now, that being said, okay, Simone Biles is arguably the most well-known, well-marketed athlete at this Olympic Games. Okay, this is
She
the
had
year.
a couple of tricks, or I don't want to say tricks, moves
Yes,
that are named after her.
yes, she has 3 moves named after her. Okay, 3 moves that are.
That's impressive.
It's very impressive. Arguably the greatest gymnast of all time. Period. Okay? She's marketed that way because she arguably is the most name recognizable athlete in existence
Well,
at these
she's
Olympics.
been in so many of them, you know.
Now.
It's the thing about the Olympics, because it's every 4 years and because of the limited lifespan of a competitor at this level.
Yes.
You know, it's rare to see somebody, Olympics over and over and over again. You know,
The Michael Phelps, Usain Bolts,
Yeah.
those type of people that aren't there this year.
yeah.
So
she's like the last one.
She's got all the stars. She's got the star power going into this Olympics. Now, she is marketed it as the wholesome, go-getter, overcomes all the adversity. Girls act like this girl. She's got her own gymnastics studio in Houston, Texas, in Spring, Texas. Okay? This girl is making guap off of her name. Okay? She's endorsed by literally everyone. But she's in Pop-Tart commercials. She's in everything. This girl's making hand over fist. Now, we're told she is the epitome of representing the United States of America. Because don't get me wrong, if you choose to be in the Olympics for the red, white, and blue, you are representing the United States of America. Now, in a nationalist display, which I won't go off on that, but that's for another story for another time. We had an NBC reporter saying he was offended that the American flag was flying at the Olympics. Get over yourself.
God.
Burn in Hades. Now,
What is wrong with these morons?
because they don't really
It's-
look.
Every other country flies their flag. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because we're uniquely different than all the other countries because of what.
Yeah, because we're better.
Yeah.
Better.
Now,
Freer.
now, that being said, Simone Biles decides she chose to compete and earn a spot on the Olympic team. She wanted to compete in the team competitions and the individual, which you do both in the gymnastics. Day 1, she goes out and does a phenomenal job. Gets her team qualified for the Olympics. Most of our gold medal hopes are based around Simone because her ability is so good. Even when she screws up, she scores higher than everybody else.
Well,
Now-
and they changed the rules because of
So
her, right?
difficult.
They changed the rules a year ago, so that's another thing that people keep saying. They changed the rules on her! They changed the rules on her a year ago, so she knew what she was getting into. She knew what she was competing with, which I'll
But I
address.
mean, that just goes to show they had to
Change
change
the
the
rules,
playing
even
field
playing
because she's so good.
Which I think that's bullcrap. You shouldn't do that. But
Agreed.
Anyway.
If you want to compete, then you raise yourself up, not lower the top person.
100%.
But like you
Wait,
said, that happened a
second,
year ago.
second.
She knows what she's
she knows
getting
what's
into.
happening. Now, she's
Wait
in
a
the
second.
Olympics.
You're
Go ahead.
saying that we should be not lowering the bar, but bringing people up to it
Yes.
in order to compete.
Yes.
You know, the
Are you
U.S.
steadily-
military
If somebody
had a
sets
low
a new standard,
women to be able to compete.
It's called exceptionalism.
yeah. If
And we're
somebody
okay with that.
If somebody sets a new standard, that's the new standard that everyone else
Has to compete
has to compete with.
Bring it. Bring the noise.
Yeah.
If Amazon starts
And
delivering,
they will.
everything- yeah,
And they freaking will.
they will
over
raise-
time.
Yes.
It may not happen right now. Oh, too bad, so sad.
Okay.
It
Usain
will
Bolt.
happen eventually.
Usain Bolt was the fastest man alive. He broke
Yes.
records all over the place.
Yep.
Phelps broke records all over the place.
Yep.
Now that is the standard that we need to
Yes.
compete to.
But you know what? What's interesting though, is that records have been broken every year at the Olympics.
Pretty much.
Every year.
Olympic records, world records
Broke
are
this.
all constantly being broken because people are getting better
Yeah.
constantly.
Now,
That's the goal of the Olympics, to make
to
us
be the pinnacle.
strive to be
Yes.
better.
Now,
It's the
And
strive
international,
makes us better.
international sportsmanship,
now,
which
here's,
I think is awesome.
now here's the thing. In gymnastics, it is a judge subjective contest.
True.
So they can do this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
China
stupid.
China always scores low unless it's Chinese.
Yes.
Unless it's a Chinese
Yeah.
team.
It's
You know.
that's the problem with
there's,
subjective sports.
yeah, there's garbage like that
Yes.
for sure.
Now, she knew this going into the Olympics. Now, this is one of the excuses they'll use later, but I'm going to debunk that here in a second. But here's the reality of the situation. Day 2, the team competition actually begins. She does her first vault and botches it, screws it up. Now, here's the beautiful thing about vault. You get 2 of them.
Yeah.
So if one sucks, you can always come back with another one. Really simple. Athletes know this, right? A pitcher can give up a home run and still win the game. That's how it goes. Tom Brady can throw 4 picks and still win a game. I've watched that dude who has sacrificed his soul to Satan and his witch wife do that over and over and over again. And now I love it because he's in, Tampa Bay, so I'm okay with it because he's a Floridian. Okay, and he roasted Biden last week, which was hilarious. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah, we did.
It was classic, okay, and I'm sure you talked about the show. But here's the thing.
We didn't, but
Oh, dude, we'll talk about it later. But here's the thing. You can mess up and still bounce back because that's the heart of a champion. That's what champions do. That's what we would teach our kids to do because sports are a reflection of life. Adversity is going to happen. You are going to get kicked in the balls all over and over and over again in life. And life is about how you respond to it. Bible talks about this. God does not promise an easy life at all. But he gives us the equipment to deal and manage with our day-to-day things because we are in the power of Jesus Christ and God. Period. That's what it is. But he gives us those methods to overcome those things. We do sports and we celebrate sports because it celebrates exceptionalism, rewards hard work, and teaches people how to overcome adversity. So, if you are going to be claimed as the GOAT or the person who we are supposed to look to, that my daughters, his daughters, are supposed to look to for exceptionalism, the minimum we would look for from those athletes is things like sportsmanship, being courteous to other people, follow through and commitment. Like, hey, if you're going to be on a team, finish. Win, lose, or draw. Because that's what you do. Why is that important? Which a lot of people are missing, is because that is character. When we say we're going to marry our wives for life, when we take those vows, it means for life. It's not for just in case I don't feel like it or things get tough, I just bail out. That's a horrible mentality. That's why we talk about commitment with our kids, and we teach this to our kids, right? Miss Biles.
That's why we say,
go ahead.
better or worse.
For better or for worse.
That's why we say, worse.
And we teach our kids
what
this
it is.
early on in sports.
There, make it through the better and the worse.
This is why it's a valuable principle we teach our kids early on. And we point to athletes that can do this as an example to give our kids. Because guess what? Kids look up to athletes. They look up to sports figures. They look up to the Dr. Disrespects of the world. It is what it is, okay? It just is what it is, all right?
for sure.
Now, that being said, Simone on day 2, the beginning of the contest, messes up her vault and proceeds to walk off the area, look at her team, and literally say, hey guys, you got to take over from here. I can't do it. Now, admitting...
Did she get hurt? She got injured?
The original report was she got hurt. Now, if you listen to the conversation, and here's the damning thing, the blessing and damning thing about these Olympics, there's no one in the crowd. So if there's nobody in the crowd, guess what we can do? We can hear every single word that comes out of your mouth. Simone misses, visibly rattled, tells her team, sorry, can't do this. But hey, don't worry, you guys got this. I've got my medals. I'm going to be okay. Now it's time for you to go get your medals. Now,
Still hurts.
a reasonable person on any sports level would call that bullshenanigy, okay? I edited myself because I said pussy earlier, so I'm going to work on this, okay? Now, bullshenanigy. Because if you're on my team and you commit to the team, and we're going to work for a week to try to go after this gold, or no matter what the result is, we're going to do it as a team. That is selfish ego protection. Period. It's selfish because out of your mouth in the moment of heat, you said, I've already got my gold medals. I'll be fine. You guys get a chance to go get yours.
I said I would help you. I said I would be there, but I'm actually not. So
I'm
not.
Peace. Deuces. Now.
It's like Jordan getting them to the Olympics and then sitting out the rest of the game.
I'll cover the Jordan thing too, because people are they're forgetting history on this one too. But now, here's the thing: she's the GOAT. Could you imagine Jordan doing that? To your point, Dusty, in the finals. When I remember, Jordan had the flu. That would have been COVID-19 nowadays. But he got the flu in the finals and literally won Game 6 with the flu and won the NBA championship. There's a guy named Tom Brady. Now, partly he has satanic powers that are brought on by his witch wife, okay? Look it up if you don't believe me, all right? But the dude played an entire season with no MCL. If you don't have an MCL, you can't laterally move. Now, people made fun of him because he's a white boy and white boys can't move. Just kidding. I'm totally playing with you guys. I'm half white. I can say this, okay? But the dude doesn't move. And if someone tries to hit him, he just crumbles. That's what Tom Brady does. But guess what? It keeps him going. It's longevity, okay? But he won a Super Bowl without an MCL. Okay, you need a better example? Let's talk about the Olympics. Everybody remember Carrie Strug? Y'all remember her?
Oh, yeah.
You can do it, Kenny! You can do it! Right?
Mm-hmm.
She had a broken leg and ran down a runway and vaulted her body, spin-a-rooney, and landed on her broken freaking leg. Perfectly, and won a gold medal for Americans.
Stuck it like a freaking champ. Do you remember
that?
Oh gosh, what's his name?
Experience.
A famous pro wrestler. Kurt Angle.
What?
Wrestled with a broken freaking neck, and pro wrestled with the broken freaking neck.
It's true. It's dang true.
But wrestled in the finals of the Olympics with a broken freaking neck, and won the gold.
And he knew he had a broken. He knew he had a broken neck, and he still competed and won a gold in '96 in an ATL. It was beautiful. I remember watching it. Go ahead.
We got some. Deep State has interjected.
Oh, Deep State. Here we go.
He interjected right from the beginning.
Oh, here we go, Deep State.
When you started talking about this.
Okay, what did he say?
When you started to get the Biles in your throat. Simone demonstrated incredible courage in her decision.
I'm going to get that in a second.
All right.
Deep State, don't worry.
Simone, and then he posted, Simone Biles Sunshine Fizz workout leotard is fire. Use promo code COURAGE for 10% off. And then he said, viewers have streamed 735 million total minutes of Tokyo Olympics content, up 24% from the 2016 Rio Olympics. America loves Simone.
Okay, now let's talk about this. Now, in the heat of the battle, when she messed up, she didn't keep going. She didn't overcome adversity like we would teach our kids. Mm-hmm. She copped out and said, "I've got mine. I'm good. Deuces." Which is an affront to commitment.
Well,
it's an affront to commitment. Sorry,
but she was thinking and taking care of her mental health.
Now that came 10 minutes later when she goes to the press conference. Somehow her PR team noticed how stupid this looks and eventually says, she has an injury. USA Gymnastics, oh, she has an injury. The press is like, what is it? What's her injury?
It's a mental health injury.
And then they recanted and said, well, no. It's a mental health injury.
Her pride was injured.
Literally,
Yeah.
her pride and ego got pricked.
Ah, my pride.
And the thing is, she could have pulled
Right
off
in
it.
the pride.
And she would have got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky nobody in the crowd, and we can hear everything that she said. The mask.
Oh, you mean those micro?
Zoik Scoob. Zoiks. And magically, she's got to attest for a really poor decision. So in the press conference, when asked about it, Simone Biles proceeds to use the patented woke playbook and literally says, hey, listen, I just wasn't feeling it, and I just need to take care of my mental health, because if I don't take care of my mental health, I won't be able to enjoy my sport I do, and I'm a stronger person because I decided to step aside. She didn't say quit, but step aside.
Brave and beautiful.
I'm a stronger person for bowing out. That's when the proverbial hairs on the back of my neck stood up. My beard went from black to blonde. My eyes went to blue. There was a distinct anger in my face as I ascended to Super Saiyan. And I literally felt the rage Goku felt as he proceeded to slay Frieza. Because as a father of daughters, as a Division I athlete and coach, look it up, that pissed me off to no end. I was an Olympic sport athlete in college. At the NAI level, 6-time All-American, 1-time national champion, Hall of Famer as well. Look it up! Division I athlete at the University of Akron. Go Zips! Coached at a little school called Akron, USF, and one you might not have heard of, UCLA. Yeah, I'm whipping it out and putting it on the table right now. I'll throw it out there. I worked with a lot of those athletes that are actually there. The starting pitcher for the Israeli national team, Big Pole, I coached him. Carlos Valdez, the guy that you see in the bobsled USA, I coached him too. Mike Seeley, the assistant coach of the men's volleyball team, hey, I worked with him and helped him get a national championship with his women's volleyball team. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, sorry. One more to throw out there. At USF, I worked with the USF softball team. Who's the head coach of the USA softball team? Oh, yeah, the same guy. I worked with him, too. I've got my fingers tangled in all of this, kids. So please come at me with this one, because I'm fully locked and loaded and ready to go. This is actually blonde. These are actually green right now. There is a halo, aura of destruction, ready to go. Like you've never seen before. Not one of those athletes or any of those people involved would be okay with this at all. Because you violated a few things. One, you violated your ability to even claim to be the GOAT or the greatest of all time. True greatest of all times don't abandon things when things get tough. Never seen a GOAT do that. They changed the rules on her. She knew about this a year ago. Athletes adapt and overcome. There's a little guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Ever heard of him? Oh, wait, he went to UCLA too. Oh, wow. Am I dropping a lot of Bruins stuff today? Am I whipping it out right now?
Yeah, you are.
True Blue. 8 clap. This guy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for 2 years couldn't dunk a basketball in NC2A basketball. Did he pack it up and say, hey, guys.
It was because he wasn't tall enough. He didn't have the jumps.
Yeah, right? They changed the sport to try to stop him. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Huh.
But defiantly, my man Kareem kept playing, and he adapted. You know what he did? He took the basketball, acted like he was going to dunk, and right before he did, he'd take his hands away like this, really dramatically. Almost like an FU to the NCAA, which I still say FU NCAA, which I enjoy that. You know, it is what it is.
but defiantly overcoming it, winning national championships with the world-famous John Wooden. UCLA reference again. That's the fourth one. Keep count, Dusty. We're going to keep rolling with this. It's beautiful. Now, he adapted and overcame and became a champion. So don't give me the, they changed the rules on her. They knew about it way before. Now, caffeine is a hell of a drug. You're right, Donkey Venom. You're right. Now, I'm on a little bit of caffeine. Objection number
You're
two,
always on a little
that
bit of
she
caffeine.
violates the code of the team. You ride or die with your team. If you decide we're going into battle together, we're going to win, lose, or draw together.
Mm-hmm.
Best player, worst player, does not matter. If you commit to the team, you finish. It's that simple. There's nothing more repugnant to an actual athlete in any team scenario than a quitter halfway through the battle. Want an example of this? What would happen in war if the guy in the foxhole with you decided, hey man, I shot a couple of Nazis, I'm bouncing, I'm out. Have a good one, guys. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine this? Not even possible. I'm out. Peace out. Hey, listen, I know I've been married to you for like 5 years. I got some really good sex. You gave me a few kids, but I'm out. I'm going to go find a hotter, sexier version of you. Is that cool? Would you be cool with that? Any respectable athlete, and what's funny is on Facebook, it was hilarious to me, which was really funny, that former athletes of mine actually tried to come to this defense. And I asked them a very simple thing. Hey, real quick, former athlete from USA. Hey, quick, former athlete from UCLA. Would you have done that to your teammate? And magically they got quiet. Because they know it's true. It's magical. Because here's the thing. All of the normies and dumb drones out there that just feed into the stupidity that's out there literally will defend anyone because the mainstream media told them to defend them, because that's what normies do. Hey, get the vax, because it doesn't work, but get the vax. Hey, normie, put your mask on. It doesn't work, but do it. Hey, normie, say that there's oppression everywhere, even though you're not really experiencing it or seeing it anywhere, but just believe the narrative. But when pressed with the reality, magically they get quiet. Objection number 3. Are we keeping up with this?
Yeah.
She's a kid. How dare you say anything about her?
She's an adult.
She's 24 years old.
Yeah. She was a kid in her first Olympics.
I was a Division I coach at 24 years old. I was married 2 years at 24. Had a kid at 24 years old. Had a kid at 18. But that's another story for another time. But my point is this.
You know,
How? Go
well,
ahead.
the Obamacare regulations do not define what is a child.
Yeah. Exactly. We have literally, again, we're in the upside down. A 24-year-old is considered a kid. And I literally asked the people that was good.
That's also sizist.
Oh, it's very
Because
sensitive.
she's
small.
tiny, so she must be a child.
And she's a woman. So if she's a small woman, you know, you got to give her the benefit of the doubt, which is an incredibly low view of women, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, how low do you think a woman is if you give her an out for stupid behavior because she's 4'11" and 24 years old? What does that say about women's empowerment, kids? You think so little of women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me as a father and as a husband value women because guess what? I'm surrounded by them. I got 3 girls. I was surrounded by women growing up, and I'm married to the most gorgeous woman on the planet. Okay? I view them on a high level. I hold them to a high standard because guess what? If I didn't hold them to a high standard, what's the result? Think about this.
Quitters.
You're going to create quitters, entitled, and weak people. Society is not benefited by weakness. I'm sorry. The only weakness that we have is in Christ. Our weakness is His strength. It's really simple. But we're weak, we're meek towards God, but we're strong in foundation of our values, truth, and reality. It just is what it